There you have Arun Jaitley taking on the opposition on every issue. That was one of his fortes. He was, in a sense, someone who would take on the opposition, but without rancor. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, someone who has known Mr. Jaitley for years, also a senior advocate and politician, joins me at the moment. Dr. Singhvi, your...
All, I would like you and your viewers to read 2 articles coming tomorrow, and I think you will enjoy them. They are full of anecdotes and good fun Arun and I had together. And I do implore you, because I can't have time to say all of it here. But let me, in law, his advocacy, he was always a better advocate than a mere lawyer. He was not concerned about turgid precedents. He used to master the facts, build a great superstructure of penetrating analysis on it, deliver it in a very sonorous, pleasing, non-contentious manner, and then end up with this nice big flourish of a spin. And it would really convince those who were in opposition as well as the judge. So I think that was pretty much the same style he followed in politics. Very, very to cut to the chase, to simplify a complex problem, and always facts were first and the minutiae were left aside.
Any personal story, sir?
Secondly, he had this, yes, well, so many of them. For example, Lokpal. Very few people knew this. The report was not released yet. I was the chairman of the standing committee. But Arun and I, by the way, opened almost every debate in Lok Sabha from 2006 when I came into the Lok Sabha, to Rajya Sabha. He was in the opposition. So he would be the first speaker and I would be chosen from the treasury benches to reply. Now Lokpal, after I had given the, before I had given the report, and this was not known to most people, the debate started, and he started, and he was a very large-hearted man, quoting this nugget about the remarkable coincidence of the inventor of the word Lokpal, inventor of the word Lokayukt, being a person whose son 50 years later chaired the standing committee which was delivering the Lokpal report. And he started a speech like that with a fact very little known to most people. One of his friends told me the other day when I was, by the way, on Saturday the 10th, he had personally fixed up an appointment with me, saying that he usually met only 3 or 4 people a day, and 6 o'clock Saturday. And Friday 9th, he had to go to hospital. 17th, the next week, Saturday, when I visited the hospital, his friends told me this other example of witty humor. When a budding young minister of the BJP, and Arun himself was a young minister in those days, asked Arun's help to get Vajpayee to release that young minister's book. The book was widely believed to be ghost-written, and Vajpayee was totally disinterested in releasing it. So Arun accompanied that minister and other people, and when Vajpayee showed disinterest, Arun is supposed to have told him that, Prime Minister, you should actually release this book because it is something unique. This will be the first book you are releasing which the author has not read. And Vajpayee, of course, burst out laughing, with a great sense of humor, and immediately agreed to release the book. He was, as you know, a great foodie in the good old days before the Obi Vans. Once in a while, we actually all travelled to your Noida studios. And I remember in a Karan Thapar show, I have a great weakness for samosas, and I readily dug into them. And Arun, a little wistfully, kind of withdrew his outstretched hand and then settled for a sandwich, because by then his diabetes was playing up and it was not meant to be eating samosas.
So he liked much more than samosa.
That the best use which the BJP
I fear you are a Shuddh vegetarian, he was a Shuddh non-vegetarian at times.
Yes, yes, I'm telling you that. No, listen, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, no, but I'm telling you the vegetarian items. I used to tell him that the BJP office on Ashoka Road, which as you know was in his name, the property, but where he didn't live, was put to best use when he had his foodie parties, and he would without fail get the Amritsari chole and bhature from that same source and feed us. Of course, I know about the non-veg items, but I am a vegetarian, as you say, so I am not an expert on those items. Apart from that, I think it was his, for example, he had a, I told him once that, there was a fast tracking, there was a divine fast tracking from 99 to 2019, which is his brilliant meteoric rise. But few people know that he lost about 17 years before that. He would have been a prominent figure in politics much before. But there were 2 factions in the BJP, and one faction saw him as being against them and in part of the other faction. So his time came only in 99. So I told him that this is a divine fast tracking after 99 for what you've lost. And
Right.
he used to say that, Abhishek, it's important to be patient in politics. There's no room for dissenters, and it's important to keep your foot in. And he said, I don't regret the fact that I lost those 17, 18 years.
But those
So,
17,
I
18
think he's
years,
a
of
very
course.
able man, a very nice man, large-hearted man. He would have been even.
You know,
Yeah. Sorry?
Let me
Sorry?
just stop you for a moment, because those 17, 18 years
Okay.
also were the years when he built up his legal career, when he led the campaign in a way on Bofors. Few will remember he was a very young additional Solicitor General with VP Singh at the time as the Prime Minister. So there was an Arun Jaitley who had an innings fully in the law. There was an Arun Jaitley who had a full innings in politics. And as I said, he loved his cricket. So he would have said, I played my second innings even better than I played my first, like usually Indian cricket teams do. But yes, Dr. Singhvi, you want to make a quick comment? I want everyone
Rajdeep.
to... Yes.
The first time, yes, last comment. The first time we met were on opposite sides in 1985 in the newly constructed Court 6 on the upper floor of, there's only one court in the Supreme Court above. And it was the infamous Bahadur Shah Zafar Magh Indian Express case. And he was junior to Fali Nariman for the Indian Express, who were alleging malafides against Jagmohan, the ex-LG, for whom my father and I were appearing. So I was a junior to my father. And Justice Sen, with a bachelor judge heading the bench, with a heave of his heavy frame, smiled and started the case by saying, Dr. Singhvi, how can you imagine your morning cup of tea without the Indian Express? So I told Arun shortly after that we have lost the case now. As it turned out, he became the best friend with Jagmohan. And Jagmohan was one of his closest friends. Although I knew Jagmohan for a long time before that in library, from the library links of IIC. So here was a man, I think, who didn't carry rancor and malice in his heart, which is why you made this. It was a very acerbic confrontation in Indian Express, and yet here is a man who became one of the best friends of Arun Jaitley later on.
And when he didn't do it through his prose, he did it through his poetry. Let me just for a moment play out a poem that Arun Jaitley, remember, he was finance minister, delivered 5 budgets between 2014 and 18. The last one this year, he couldn't because of